The Fight Bananas podcast is supported by Daniel Martinez, the law offices of Daniel Martinez. I solve problems. Guys, give him a call at any time at 877-5-RIGHTS. That's 877-5-RIGHTS. Or check out the website at martinez.law. Daniel Martinez, the law offices of Daniel Martinez, in your corner. 877-5-RIGHTS. Also, check out Fusion CBD products. Check out the website at fusioncbdproducts.com. Guys, you know I drink the waters. 6-pack for $19.50. It's an incredible deal. Also, lately, I've been using the CBD Instant Rub. There's a relief rub and also a CBD cream and muscle for joint pain. Guys, make sure you go to fusioncbdproducts.com right now. Hit them up on Instagram at fusioncbd and check out the website at fusioncbdproducts.com. Hello, world. What's up, guys? This is Dave Van Auken once again, back again on the Fight Bananas podcast, the hottest MMA podcast in the industry. Appreciate you guys listening. Hey, we're rolling like always, guys. Download, subscribe on all podcast platforms. Subscribe on the YouTube channel, Fight Bananas. Man, awesome episode. Kat Nelson, the Kat Nelson Show. She killed it. Our boys from Inside the Distance are doing work. Man, we're loving our brand right now, the banner of Fight Bananas. But, guys, huge show for us right now. Nicholas Maximov's coming on. Nick, one of our favorites. Absolutely, we've been on this guy for a minute. Big opportunity. Dana White Contender Series this Tuesday night. Huge opportunity in front of him. And we think he's going to conquer that opportunity. Talking about Dana White Contender Series, holy crap, what did we just see a couple nights ago? I'm going to get into that. I'm also going to get into the Israel Adesanya. What should they do? What's next? A couple little things we can take it there. So we got a packed show. And then after Nick Maximov, his interview, I'm going to give you guys, we do it here at least once a week, and you guys like it so much, I try to do it a couple times. We're going to go top 5, and we're going to go with our top 5 bare knuckle FC fighters ever. And I'm talking about their brand, their promotion. Bare Knuckle FC 1 to 13. Who has been the best fighter? I'm not talking Thiago Alves is an all-time legend, right? But what has he done for Bare Knuckle FC? So he doesn't make the top 5, and you'll hear that. We'll get into it. I think you're going to get a couple surprises, so hopefully you guys are down, because they got a big show. Bare Knuckle FC 14, Friday the 13th, South Florida. It's going to be an epic show. We just heard Paige Van Zant, guys. Bare Knuckle FC debut coming Super Bowl weekend in Tampa. It's going to be Paige Van Zant, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. Going to be nuts. So a lot of big things going. But like I said, Nick Maximum's coming probably 3-4 minutes, guys. He's going to call in. So here we go. Real quick. So Dana White Contender. Guys, we, under the Fight Bananas banner, we kind of go all in on things once every 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, and we go all in on it. We got facts, we got reasons. It's a gut feeling, heart, whatever the case may be. And I think out of those, our rate is pretty goddamn good. We've been telling the world MMA needs a scoreboard, open scoring, and I think a lot of people are starting to turn that leaf. We need better judges, maybe more judges. We talked about pound for pound list. We talked about how Izzy is probably pound for pound underrated all time, and I think people are starting to turn that leaf. There's just so many things we go with. I think there's we see a lot of great rising stars underneath MMA regional scenes and on Fight Pass, and when we go all in with them, they soon to be UFC fighters. That's just how it is. So the one we've been on for a while, and I'm just like, I'm going to double down on it right now. And it's just, I can't wait for people to come join us. We've been talking a lot about a pound-for-pound GOAT. I think pound for pound or minute for minute, the Dana White Contender Series show is better than anything on TV with mixed martial arts. Anything under the UFC Fight Pass banner, UFC pay-per-views, their shows on ESPN Plus, their Fight Nights, Fight Island, anything. Fight Pass is putting out some great content. Icon with Bellamere. LFA's been putting out some great shows. Dana White Contender Series, there's just something about it. There's magic. It's like a band. It's like the Red Hot Chili Peppers getting put together for the very first time, and they're like, oh, we might have something here. There's magic. A little bit of Laura Sanko. You know, we've had her on multiple times. We are huge fans of Laura. Dana White being there. You can see Izzy was just there. Pro fighters are now wanting to be there. There's something about it's a Super Bowl and the NFL draft in one night. These guys are fighting for it all. We just saw it. 4 fights, 4 finishes, 4 contracts. Probably even a superstar. There's nothing like this opportunity. The fighters scratch and they claw for this shot, for this opportunity for the Contender Series. And they don't squander it. They go all in. They are the fights, the action that we're seeing, and the stories behind it. Guys, if you have an hour, if you have 2 hours to give, of course, download and subscribe to Fight Bananas Podcast. Then secondly, watch Dana White's Contender Series. All right, so I'm going to transition to Israel Adesanya. Izzy, the last style bender. The news after last week's fights, Dana White was like, yeah, Izzy's going to move up. Jan Blachowicz, light heavyweight strap. Wow, the middleweight division's like, what's next? The light heavyweight division, we got Glover and Santos this Saturday night. I know they're not happy about it. I know some people underneath Glover's corner, they weren't happy to hear that. But why I thought they made it, and kind of what we've been hearing the news lately in the last 24, 36 hours, Jan says he doesn't want to fight to March. Guys, Izzy fought, it's been now 6 weeks. He wants to get back in there. He even said he wouldn't mind jumping on that December card. Looks like January will be Conor, could be the co-main, or they want the February spot. They want the Super Bowl week, right? But Jan says he would rather have that extra time, family, Christmas, all this. There's just something about Izzy wanting to get back in there, and that's one reason he's been an active fighter. That's one reason why I have him so high, so quick. I know he's only been around for probably three and a half years. The man's 9-0 underneath the banner. The man wants to fight, likes to fight, and wants to do this double champ. But in life, it takes two to tango. And if Jan doesn't want to do it, what's next for Israel Adesanya? I think it just doesn't make sense timing-wise with Jan. You know, it doesn't make sense with John. John Jones wants to move up. There's really not a middleweight contender. I said that right away. Whitaker won. He wants the break. He wants 5 months off. Izzy doesn't want to wait 5 months. You can't do the rematch with Costa. Kinnear lost. You know, Till and Hermanson are coming up quick. And I think if Till gets a really short, first-round finish and feels good, they might want to match up Till and Izzy really soon. That could be their out. Other than that, I don't see it, guys. I don't see an opportunity of Israel Adesanya. Maybe now with Khabib gone and Conor, you never really know. You could argue their biggest draw. I don't see when he's going to come back. I don't see the matchup. I don't see the clear next matchup. Izzy wants in before March. So is the Jan off? Can Izzy go December with Till or February with Till and then maybe March or April with Jan? I don't know. There's a lot of moving pieces, I'll tell you that. But so we'll see. And when we hear it, we'll definitely you guys will be the first or second to know. But here we go, guys. Nicholas Maximov. Nick, one of our favorites, like I said, been on multiple times. I love it so much. He's really candid. He's going to tell you how it is. And I think you guys are going to be really surprised on, how he heard, what's next for the UFC light heavyweight division. It's a really, really great interview. Guys, here is one of the future of UFC light heavyweights, Nick Maximov. All right, guys, here we go back on the Fight Bananas podcast, this time with a little bit more on the horizon. My main man, Nick Maximov. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing really well, man. How are you?
Man, we're doing good, man. We're killing it. We're blessed. UFC Fight Pass. There's been so much content out there. A lot of fights going on. So a lot to get into, but nothing more. Man, we've been following you now for over this year. Tons of Submission Underground. A ton of opportunities we tried to go and just didn't happen. How do you feel, man? It's finally here. Dana White Contender Series next week. The opportunity of a lifetime. How do you feel?
I feel great, man. I'm excited. I got a few more there, which is nice compared to my last one. I feel good, and no nerves or anything really, man. It's just excitement, and it's just good vibes and good energy. So it's a great feeling right now.
For sure. And like you kind of hit it on that. Like, just seemed like kind of a roller coaster, right? Like we talked pre-pandemic. We talked about the regional scene was really tough to get fights. UFC Fight Pass was hard. But you had that LFA second round rear naked choke, and now you get the call. How did you get the news?
My manager Joey actually in Dodge talked to my pops because I was going to Stockton, and they called my pops and they told him what was up, and then I kind of got back from it, and then it was like kind of surreal, and it was a great feeling. So now we're getting everything rolling and getting ready under the big lights, So yeah, it was really cool to hear from them, because when they first called, I thought it was just like another fight or this or that, and it'd be like a last minute fight, and it was kind of like, we're going to take it because why not? But
right.
It was really great to hear that. That was really cool.
For sure. Because like I said, we've been talking, you kind of wanted to really get to that 5. You thought that 5-0 would probably have, you were going to get that phone call to the big show. That 5th one was hard to get to, multiple months. Finally, LFA, one time someone didn't show. Pretty crazy on that high of a level. But like I said, you got the 5-0. So when you got that phone call, you just hearing from you weren't sure that it wasn't going to be a UFC fight. It could have been another LFA or an Icon. It could have been another organization maybe. You weren't sure.
Well, I thought the Contender Series was done. So I was like, it's just another fight. You know what I'm saying? Another regional fight. Because I thought it was all over with, but I guess not. So that was great. And to see that it's like a headliner and it's the last one, so it's like that could have a lot of eyes,
100%. Nick, I thought the same thing, man. Like, for one, it's on ESPN. The Contender Series has been, to me, like, especially during this kind of post-pandemic, like the summer, it was on fire. Like, so many people were watching the show. You and I talked about it, and we kind of were like, not joshing at some of the talent, but some of the talent, that we weren't up to your level. You know what I mean? It was kind of like, man, these guys got the call and Nick didn't. Now to be on the main event, how good does it feel to kind of be like, okay, the UFC knows what's up, finally?
Feels great, man, because it's like, in my opinion, I never have thoughts about losing or anything like that, and this is what it's going to try to look like. But in my opinion, it's a win. You know what I mean? Like, I'm 22 years old and I get a shot like this. I mean, that's on a main event. It's like I'm a young kid on such a high, fighting on a really high level against a pretty. For Dana White, it's not like I'm 30-something years old and this is my last shot. It's like I have nothing to lose, and that's like the best feeling ever, knowing that like I just have like a great support system, a great everything coming along right now, and everything's working out so well. Where it's like it's not my last fight where I felt like I had to win. This is like a fight where I'm like, right. Dude, I'm having fun. I'm enjoying every single second of it. Whereas my last one, California was on fire. You can't go run. The gyms are all closed because it was back in like August, September. So gyms had to be closed, So now it's like I actually get to train in for it and do this and that. It's like, hell yeah, I'm just excited because now I get to actually showcase my skills, where my last one was like, I don't even have a gas tank or anything for it because I couldn't even box. I couldn't do anything. I kind of just fought off what I knew. I couldn't do. So now I'm more excited for it because now I can actually show people what I look like,
For sure. And, I've been, we know your ground game is phenomenal. Submission underground and all of that, and just knowing who you are. But I think people are going to be really, really surprised when they hear and see you on your feet. Like you said.
I hope so.
Right?
Yeah, I totally agree. Man, I've just been boxing a lot. I had sparred a couple pro boxers last week. So, man, it's just been freaking great.
Hell yeah.
It's been awesome.
Love it. I love it. I knew it. Okay, about your opponent. 20 professional fights, been around the game for a minute. Have you seen him? Have you looked into him yet, or is it still new, or is it no? It's about me. I'm going to do my thing, and we'll see each other at weigh-ins.
No, totally. This is how I look at it. I watch a couple videos, and then I go about myself for the next 3 weeks, 2 weeks, whenever I got the call. So it's been about 3 weeks to prepare for it. So I've just been going about it my way and doing how I want to do. It's hard to look at if you focus so much on a guy and he gets hurt, pulls out, or something happens, then everything you plan and train for goes out the window. So my whole thing and my whole philosophy is more you got to focus on yourself until maybe the couple days before, then you maybe watch a little bit more. But until then, it's like you got to really just focus on your skills and what you do best.
Nick, man,
you know what I'm saying?
Oh, dude, 110%. I think it's crazy. Let's kind of go back to the Khabib and Gaethje, right? Like, all we heard was for 3 months that Gaethje was working on wrestling and defense.
Doesn't matter.
Hey, thank you. Hey, you can't. For one, you can't win a fight playing wrestling defense, for one. And two, Khabib's doing it for 25 years. You're not going to do it in 3 months. Like, Gaethje, he should have just came out murdering.
I totally agree, man. I totally agree. He just came out gunslinging and everything, but he didn't have to get so worried about the takedowns, which I don't blame him, but at the same time, you got to do what got you to the dance, But That's kind of how I feel about this guy. He's a good shooto box guy. He's a shooto box fighter, so he's kind of throws well. Shooto boxers guys can't box. They don't throw straight punches. They throw hooks.
Right.
He has a brown belt in jiu-jitsu from what I've seen and what people have told me, but it's like, is that Shogun Vanderlei Silva brown belt in jiu-jitsu? Or is that like a real, like, ADCC level, Atos, Marcelo Garcia, Nick Diaz Academy brown belt in jiu-jitsu? Difference. There's a big difference. Is it MMA jiu-jitsu or is it real jiu-jitsu? So that's kind of how I'm thinking. And then it kind of goes down to wrestling. You're going to have to worry about takedowns the whole time. So it's like that freaks people out knowing they can get taken down any second.
Right. Yep. Oh, my goodness. I can't wait. Nick Maximov, Dana White Contender Series next week. We're so damn excited. Okay, so you're a great follow on Twitter. We love hearing you, especially fight nights in the light heavyweight division because that's the division you're in. Man, when Jan won the title, it was just like, I love following you on Twitter. Like I said, it seemed like you haven't been impressed with some of those guys up there in that top 10, top 15. I'll let you take it away from there.
Yeah, well, I think middleweight, it's funny. You look at like middleweights and light heavyweights, and I think there's just such a talent difference. Like one middleweights, but you're like, oh my God, like everyone's got power. Israel Adesanya said it really well. Like everyone's got power, but it's all about like your precision, your accuracy, and all that. And like volume, and you can just go all around the spectrum, but everyone's got power, and it's like you just see these dudes rely so much on their power, where it's like, what are you doing? You don't even mix it up or anything. It's just like Jan has a cool left hook, like that's about it. You know what I'm saying? He has a good left hook. He has some good combos, but it's really just a left hook that you got to worry about. Santos Reyes or Dominic Reyes or whatever, he has a good straight left. You know what I mean? And you can just go down the spectrum of what these guys have that are, like, good. That's what made John so good and DC, I think, so good, is they can mix it up so well, whereas a lot of these guys don't mix it up very well. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. No, I agree, and that's why I'm actually super excited. A lot of people are, like, kind of puffing at it. I love this. I love that Stylebender is moving up to that light heavyweight. So that match, Dana talked about a couple days ago.
That's a crazy fight.
I love that fight.
I do, too.
Styles going to get him. I'm calling that right now.
I do too.
When Khabib retired, right, and of course Anderson, which is a couple of days ago, so the whole MMA world, Nick, is like talking about GOATs and top 5 lists and all this stuff, and everyone has like the same 5-7 names, and and it is what it is. I'll kind of get into my thing, then I have a question for you on it. One, I have Israel Adesanya up there, and everyone was kind of attacking me. It's like, really? How can you? And it's like, my eyes tell me how good he is. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's a little quick, but he's got 9 fights in the UFC. It's not like he's, not been around. He, the championship, who he's beat the last 3-4 fights, I got Izzy that high of a level. Am I off base on that? Am I too quick, or you kind of see it a little bit?
I like it. I
Okay.
don't mind it at all. I think he's up there. I think the problem with John and Anderson for me is the steroid thing.
Sure.
So it's like that's such a big thing where you hear John might not have needed steroids to be the best, and that might be true. But like Anderson coming back fighting Nick and pops for steroids, it's like I'm like, all right, he's probably been doing it his whole career. So I'm like, my opinion, he's out of the picture for that. And John, these picograms and this and that. I don't know. I think John's just a really special talent at the end of the day.
For sure.
I think he's just great.
Yep.
I think Khabib and Izzy are obviously pretty. When you look at the resumes, are pretty great. I don't mind saying Izzy's one of the best of all time. I mean, kickboxing and stuff, and then his fights. Calvin, really good fight, and same with like John and Alex Gustafsson or whatever. Like that's a good fight where it shows a lot of perseverance and fighting back, when you're losing and you come back.
Right.
So I think those fights truly mean like how great you are,
No, I totally agree. People kind of got on me about the gas fight. I was like, I see that as a positive. That man went 25 minutes. The ref could have stopped it at the very, very end, didn't. They let it go. I thought that was a war, and he won it. And, you saw how he pinpoint Robert Whittaker. How did he killed Costa? Like that precision and light. But yeah, name me a guy, Nick, that you have up there that you think, you trained with, or maybe a guy you've seen through the days that's like almost underrated to the MMA middle class, the mainstream. Who's an underrated fighter to you?
That I've trained with?
Or just anyone. You could have trained with them, or someone you just seen through the game. You're like, damn, like he just never got his break, or it just didn't happen.
Dude, you know who I was surprised after watching this weekend that wasn't super crazy and it's kind of gotten worse is Uriah Hall. Like, I'm like, when you saw him in the Ultimate Fighter just kill dudes, and now it's like kind of weird, standoffish, like fights. It's like, what happened to him? I thought he was going to be a champ.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be the best. Like, I've never really worked out with him or trained him, but I've seen him and I'm like, why isn't that dude, like, why wasn't he champ? He has a skill set, especially striking wise. It's like, how did he not become champion sometime, or even like really fight for the title? You know what I mean?
Right. And Nick, you know why? And this is why, and you know this, and we talked off air, I talked to your manager about it. This is why I'm so high on you. To me, you have the mindset. Like, every time I talk to you, how you talk, how you are on social media, I see your interviews, you know who you are, you know what you're about, what you can do. Uriah Hall, let's just be blunt about it, I don't think he's got the mindset to be a champ. His skills are phenomenal. He can do a lot of things inside the octagon. I just don't think he's mentally strong enough to be a UFC champ. That's just me being blunt.
No, I appreciate you giving me the compliment, but I do agree with that. Some people have and some don't. You can kind of tell who, like Khabib, he really, he has that weird mindset, that some people have. And Gaethje, I thought would have had it too, but he kind of just got worked, Right. It looked weird. It looked like he was just happy to be there rather than trying to win. Yeah. Where it's a little difference. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's, and also with Costa and back to Izzy, Costa was undefeated, looked like a murderer, but there's just so many levels. Like, to be just in the UFC, and then to be a contender, to be the champ, that Khabib level, that Izzy level, the John Jones level, or Stipe, that's just another level. Like, that's just top notch, and those contenders didn't have it. That's just, you know what I mean? But Nick Maximov, Dana White Contender Series, man, we're so pumped for this fight. ESPN, man, I appreciate your time. Is there anything else you want to hit on or you want to bring up?
No, nothing, man. I appreciate you giving me the time to talk to you and everything, and the interview and everything. I appreciate it. I'm excited for it, man, and sounds like you guys are too, so I really appreciate that. Thank you. Absolutely,
man. We got you, and we'll talk after your win, and we'll talk after Laura Sanko says that Nick is in the UFC, all right?
Yeah, sounds great to me. Thank you, man. I appreciate it a lot.
All right, bro. Talk soon. All right, guys, it is time for another edition of Top 5. Today we are going to do Top 5 Bare Knuckle FC fighters. Guys, we've had Top 5 underrated, lightweights, Top 5 upcoming fights. We're going BK FC fighters. It's been a year and a half. Bare Knuckle FC 14 is November 13th, Friday, November 13th. Make sure you get that app. So we're going to go 5-1. Here we go. There was a ton of tremendous fighters we could choose. And, guys, I'm not going on what they've done prior to the Bare Knuckle FC ring. Thiago Alves is an all-timer, but he's got one fight, one win, doesn't make the list. We're going what they have done inside that square circle. Number 5, just on the Fight Bananas podcast, our main man, Reggie Barnett Jr., 5-1 underneath the banner. I'm talking about Bare Knuckle FC 1 all the way now to the co-main event for that 135-pound title. Bare Knuckle FC 14. Reggie Barnett's done it all. I love his technique. I love his skill. And maybe the fastest fighter under the Bare Knuckle FC banner. Number 5, Reggie Barnett. Number 4, Luis Baboon Palomino. And some people might think it's too high, not high enough maybe. But, guys, he's 2-0 under the banner, and I am a huge Luis fan. Absolutely. I was there live when he won the title, and really in just devastating fashion. Within a minute, round 1, just got the job done. In and out, boom. Prior to the Bare Knuckle FC ring, just an all-timer. We are huge fans here of Luis Palomino. But, guys, 2-0 makes the list, but he has the opportunity to climb up the rankings. He has the opportunity to be number 1 versus Jim Allers in the main event of Bare Knuckle FC 14. So our number 4 is Luis Palomino, the 155-pound champion. Number 3, maybe a little controversial one, Artem Lobov. Artem is 2-0 underneath Bare Knuckle FC, and maybe you guys are, it's not enough. He's got the loss. What he's done for the brand. The fight with Jason Knight, Bare Knuckle FC 5, still to this day, the greatest fight in Bare Knuckle FC history. And then the fight the next month versus Paulie Maldonado, Bare Knuckle FC 6. Of course, the rematch. He's been in some of the highest marquee, the biggest fights, and he's 2-1 underneath the banner. Artem, it was definitely just a integral part of the uprising, of the ascension of Bare Knuckle FC. So my number 3 man is Artem Lobov. Number 2, and I think the most underrated man in the sport, the heavyweight champion, Joey Beltran. 4-1-1 underneath the banner. He is the champ, no doubt about it, and there's so many guys that can challenge him, and that's why I love this. This is the heavyweight division for Bare Knuckle FC. You guys seen it. I know you've had everything with Godbeer, everything. There's guys on the rise, like a Dylan Klecker who's on the rise, guys that are coming into the Bare Knuckle FC family, like a Frank Mir. So he's going to have his hands full in 2021. But Joey Beltran just gets wins. He just gets the W and gets the job done. He can take hits. He can deliver 2, 3 more. We are huge fans of Joey. Joey Beltran, our number 2 fighter for Bare Knuckle FC, the heavyweight champion, 4-1-1. And number 1, the number 1 man in the sport of Bare Knuckle FC, I don't think there's a debate. And after Friday the 13th, I think it's a cemented one way or the other. It's the Bare Knuckle Beast, Jim Allers. Jim has been on the show multiple times. We are huge fans of Jim, but beside that, what he does in that ring, 5-0, putting people away. Leonard Garcia, Julian Lane, what he does off the line is incredible. There's not another fighter in the sport that does it like Jim Allers. His fight is 5-round war with Caleb Harris. He's defeated Elvin Brito. Jim Allers has done it all. He is undefeated, 5-0. And now he has the shot to be the number 1 man in the sport, the lightweight champion, Luis Palomino versus Jim Allers, Bare Knuckle FC 14. There you go. There's my top 5. 5, Reggie Barnett Jr. 4 is Luis Palomino. 3, Artem. 2, the heavyweight champ, Joey Beltran. And number 1, the Bare Knuckle Beast, Jim Allers. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. It was another phenomenal, I feel, podcast. So much there. Nicholas Maximov, Izzy, Dana White Contender Series, Bare Knuckle Top 5, and major announcement, Monday morning, Bella Mir is coming back on the Fight Bananas podcast. Frank Mir's daughter, 17-0 professional fighter, now 1-0, fighting on Icon, Fighting Federation on UFC Fight Pass. Bella Mir comes back on the pod Monday morning. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Enjoy the fights. Santos, Glover Teixeira, Saturday night, and so much more. Make sure you hit up all of our sponsors, Daniel Martinez, Fusion CBD Products, JustBlazeClothing.com. You can hit them up anytime. Hit up Alberto's Pizza. Much love to them. And hit up Rude Venice on the Instagram, IG Rude Venice. You know, we're always approved to be the Rude Boys. All right, guys, Bellamere, Monday morning on the Fight Bananas podcast.